And this is what's all about refugee. You come with one-way ticket. I didn't have a choice when I was coming here. It's a one-way ticket. So you come here, you have to make it work. And you have to make it work. You don't say, can I make it this way? No, you have to work and make it. And this is what I say with the current crisis, that if you see people are determined to die or to be here, I mean, that shows commitment. My name is Dr. Berhan Ahmed, and I am the chairperson of the African think tank and senior research fellow of Melbourne University. Because of my refugee background, I have been in different countries, and the only way to get yourself with the people is to speak the language. And that gave me something that I have to do as a priority in Australia. So I went and I got employment with the Metropolitan Tram, sort of conducting as I was given that job, and that gave me free English lessons, paid, and I practiced my language and I moved through the process. So that was the key in my sort of settlement.
First, the problem for a refugee is the language. Because for us, for example, English language is for third language for us. First Kurdish, second Arabic, third English. I was teacher in my country for 30 years. When I come to Australia, it changed my life. I be a student. Very hard we start with the alphabet. And now I am good. Not very well, good.
We are very happy.
Yes, we are very, very happy, yes.
I was by myself. I follow my sons in a camp. We was in a camp about 1.5 years in Selupia camp in Turkey. Later on, the Australian embassy, they come over there. And we decided to come here, and we appreciate to this country. This is our home here. We built more in City Whittlesea area. Anyone is coming to City Whittlesea area, we say to her, very welcome.
Yes.
There's a lot of reason, to be quite honest, to reduce the hate between all those communities, to get to know other people as well, other community, religions. Like, as I say, we're a very open community. You get this good feeling sometimes when you see a lot of from different nationalities, they blend together, and it is no religion matters or no politics matters. We get a lot of hard time when we're there. They torture us, they done a lot of bad things until the UN come and they decide to separate the people. They put the different cases and they ask you what you wanted to choose. Like we feel like stranger, no one word English. And we try to communicate with people, and it's really, really hard.
So people who want to learn English, we take them aside or another room to teach them English. I like that idea. I really enjoyed being with them. So I offer my help. I said, well, I'm an ESOL teacher. So since that time till now, I'm going every Thursday to teach English, then enjoy with the others. Because I really enjoy being there and see how happy some people they get when I help them to learn English. It was same feeling when I was first arrived in New Zealand. I didn't know any English, so when I find someone speak to me in my own language and English, explain things to me in English, it was the happiness, you know? Okay, I was free from fear when my son had his operation. He was really suffering every single day. He was going blue and he can't breathe, breathless all the time because he had a stroke before he done the operation. I couldn't get that done in Iraq. I couldn't. So I really, really appreciate what they giving us. Yes.
My dream, I'm looking at proper social inclusion in my community to understand the Western life in this country, and then they can act as it is. When I arrived in this country, people back home, they thought Once if I'm in Australia, everything is easy, but that's not true. And you must work by hard when you are in Australia. And I go back to school. The other thing, people, when they come the country, in the country, they are disoriented. They need a lot of orientation in terms of the family, their life to establish here in Australia.
I was scared because I didn't know how to answer. And usually I was hiding in the house. But I said, okay, I need to start more communicate with people. And yeah, actually, there was old neighbors, they're good, and they understand how it was hard for us. And yeah, first when you're going to shop, you go in everything packed. You buy packages because it's easier. If you need to buy something, and ask how to ask because you don't know. My daughter, when she was year 10, we need to find her work experience. And she went to work to Northland. And one night, she's not coming home with the bus. And I was waiting with the bus. I don't know, at that stage, they turned me on back to the war and everything. Because I don't know, I didn't have phone at the time. She didn't have mobile phone. I don't know where to go to look for her. Bus comes, she wasn't in the bus. I don't know. I don't know how I survived all it all. We had just a couple of hours to leave our house and just go because we didn't have choice. And when we left, there was pretty dark, and with my 2 kids and my husband, and there was actually my parents both with us. Actually, we walked over 30 kilometers. There was cold snow and everything, yeah. And I'm so happy if I'm helping for settle child and build trust and everything. It's so important, yeah. And it doesn't matter about my experience in the war. If someone needs my help, I said again, I don't care who, it's person. I'm gonna help them if it's my possibility, if I could. I don't care.
Families and their land and their whatever just to go somewhere else without a reason, and that reason has to be very strong. Life-threatening condition, security, or something very really important as we did to leave the country and come. So countries, as I said, like Australia and taking refugees is saving lives. It's always, I think, pleasing to see different countries taking refugees, because I know if not all of them, majority of people living from there, they have a very, very serious reason to leave the country and to come to live somewhere else. There are times that people can get really stuck in the system for very silly reasons. I have known cases for a chest x-ray that's been not reported or something. In a health check, the blood pressure wasn't measured in one of the applications. People waited months and months for this mistake. So it's not there really, it's not the applicants' fault to be really, it's been done by administration. They should be really get into this very quickly and get these people really their applications processed. When you see families going through this, especially with children, and they have no, support financially, they in refugee camps or renting in horrible places, and it's not an easy life waiting before you come to another country.
My experience, maybe the refugees, people who are running as refugees, they're different. Some people are educated, some people are not educated. Some kids are educated, some kids are not educated. For this, if you got some people who are educated, it's more easier. My name is Martina, and I came from Sudan, and I come with my kids. So I'm here almost 6 years in Australia, and yeah, I work in health center with the women and pregnant, because in the refugees camp there's a lot of disease, something like this, and sometimes people are not going to hospital, they're not going in health center, they're not. So this is my role. I had to go sometimes motivate them in their houses, and sometimes pregnant women, they just stay home until delivery time, but that's not good. You have to go to the health center. You have to check your baby, something like this. That's how to go and look at them and then bring them in the health center. Please come, please come, please come. And a lot of children are malnourished, have this disease, something like this. You have to bring them admitted in the hospital. So in the health center, give them treatment, give them food, something like this. It's really a lot of job, because that is a refugees camp. You have to work a lot of job. You have to do that. The time I'm in Egypt, I know nothing about my parents. I know nothing really. I couldn't hear where is my parents. I don't know really. And that time, my first husband lost, and I don't want to hear about their relative. I don't want to hear that one, because if you ask, so I stayed everyone. So I got my parents. I said, why not me? So at last, 2003, when I born my little one, and then someone said that your mom is in Uganda, East Africa, and they're really suffering, and then your elder brother is there, but your youngest brother is not there, and your sister is there, but yeah. So I say, how can I contact them? Really, it's really very hard. Really very hard. So I try myself through Red Cross, through something like this. I asked, so I found my mom. When I came here, I start to make process, but fail, and then my mom passed away. So it made me crazy. It made me crazy really, but that's all happened for everyone.
My parents died before I left Iraq, and all of my brothers and sisters left to overseas. I'm the editor of the Harmon newsletter. It's published in Arabic, and it's the first of her kind in the area, or maybe in Australia, because it's published monthly, regularly, and now we are going to finish the third year of publishing. I started working journalism maybe more than 40 years ago. When I was very young, I spent about 16 years, something like that, working in Iraqi journalism. After they pushed me from journalism because I refused to be a member in the Ba'athist Party, I went to Dubai, in United Arab Emirates. I spent 3 years there. I worked in journalism there. Then I left to Morocco for 6 years, and I worked as a journalist there. But in those both countries, the Iraqi embassy followed me and forced me, and they asked me to write this and that. And they refused to renew my passport. So I came to Australia as a safe country and a beautiful country, and the people live safely and like each other and respect the law. I'm proud that I am Australian citizen now.
My name is Farzaneh Dehghan. I'm Iranian, Baha'i. They execute Baha'is, they make problem for Baha'is, And lots of women, they were executed just because of their belief. So I came to Australia to be voice of those who cannot be heard. I try to bring women from different background together and, do work with them and make them, actually to have confidence. My aim is to bring harmony, peace, and unity in to the community. So I work hard for that, because I believe when we break down barriers, we can do, lots of things. So we need to work together with love, with real love, and work for peace, because I believe world peace will happen, but it is in our hand. We need to work for it. We need to do something. Just if we want to sit at home and, not to do anything and waiting for peace, it's not going to happen.
My name is Boaz Smith. I'm originally from Liberia, and I'm the president of All for One Social Club, and also I'm a soldier in the Australian Defence Force. In several years, we was a refugee from Liberia, so we went into the resettlement program. So that's how my family and I was the successful one to get an Australia trip. 3 months after that, my sister came. 6 months after that, my family came. That mom, dad, brothers. It's a feeling that it's really hard to express, but you doesn't know how to feel, whether you should be happy or not. But it's a good feeling to know that family is coming to join you. Well, the first time I came in 2005. In 2006, I was in NMIT. I was a bricklayer for 2 years. So after that, I said, well, I want to do more for my country. And that's when I decided to join the army. So since 2008, I've been in the army since. I went to East Timor on a deployment. And I should have been on a trip to Afghanistan this year. But because of the loss of my brother, that's why I come back to Melbourne. The effort I have now, I didn't have that before, honestly. Because since my brother died, it was my desire even not to come back to Melbourne. But something changed. That's why I'm here. And because I think that if I say I doesn't want to come back, that I'm running away from the problem. And the problem needs to be fixed. And I believe that my presence on the ground will be a very huge impact in solving this problem. Changes cannot be done by one race or one person. It's everyone that fight for changes.
My parents left Palestine after Israel occupied our country. They left Palestine to Kuwait, and they lived there. I was born in Kuwait. That's why when the Gulf War starts, that's make us think the first thing in Australia, to follow my parents, to live in this beautiful country. And straight away we left Kuwait and we came here. We find there an idea to make the mothers, to make like groups teaching the children every Sunday the Arabic school. So we started as a groups of mothers with a few children, and now after 19 years we have our school and we teach the children until now. Every Sunday we have Arabic school in Doncaster. I started the voluntary work with my older son. He was in the prep. He starts here prep, and the first time the school sent a letter for the parents to ask for help in the canteen, school canteen, and I like this idea just to be around my child actually. But I like the idea, and I put my name in this at school for any kind of help in Palestine. I will not talk about what make this happen to our children, but because there is a very kind of disease that come here and some disability with the children. The government sent some people to choose a very strange kind of disability with these children and bring them here to Australia. The period of treatment takes a long time, sometimes for 6 months, maybe more, a year and a half. And during this time, the children need a support, especially they leave their family, their parents, and feel lonely. They really need someone to be around just to feel them they are welcome. I just want to say that when everyone have his own culture, that's make you feel that you are not only a foreign here, because there is so many different cultures. So the people here live, they came from different countries, from different cultures. When you know that you are from Palestinian culture, there is from the community Chinese, Italian, Greek, different, that makes you accept the other community, the others, and love to communicate and to be one nation when we are all the same. We are all from different places.
My elder brother graduated a year ago. I and my sister are still in uni, and hopefully we are going to finish soon. My brother actually fled Sudan in 1987, and then he went to Ethiopia, and then went to Kenya, and then he came to Australia. We qualified to come to Australia, and that's where we came here. from the camp to get to Kampala and then to the airport and then to Australia. I'm interested to work in a sort of place which have many people from different backgrounds and hear from them. Young people are not always successful, but they need to know that the mind of a young person, I'm not yet a psychologist, but real from my experience, it's like a dormant seed. When it does actually not met the conditions it requires to grow, it will not grow. And that's to say, a young person will not be successful when those conditions are not met. But for me, I got family, a very supportive brother and sister. We do everything together. And I think that is a very great advantage to me.
Iraq is a rich country.
Yeah.
Many petrol in the Iraq, but Saddam Hussein no help people from this petrol. All warring with Iran 8 years. 8 years warring with Iran. When finished with Iran, 2 years warring with Kuwait. It's crazy. It's all people, Iraqi people, happy when Saddam finished. My wife bring me here to Australia. She is long time work here in Australia, and she is very tired here in Australia for make visa for me and my son Mustafa. We are two, me and Mustafa. Stay 3.5 years in Syria.
We didn't know if he was alive or dead. So when I was young, I was thinking, where's my dad? And my mum, she said, we don't know yet, he's lost. Yeah. And I really wanted to know, where's my dad and how is he going? And I just wanted to meet him. I just wanted to know him. And thank God,
Yeah.
Stuff went better. And he's here right next to me now.
My son, he died, and he is in Iraq now. I want to go visit him.
I know my diction is different from an Australian, but I know what is in me, and I believe in myself, and that's what I go for whenever I go for any interview. I don't care whether it is all the panel members are white people or they are Asians, or I don't care. But I know I'm going with a very good positive mindset, and it's not my diction which is a problem, because I can't change this anymore. That's going to live with me till I die. But I believe I've got the knowledge and I've got the ability to be able to do something good. Most people thought they don't need to keep their diction. You need to have the Aussie accent to be able to be in high positions. So you need to have that Aussie accent. People will pretend like they don't understand, they don't hear you in the workplace. It's just challenging, Sometimes in the workplace, people pretend like, you don't, your English is, it's like, So it's very challenging, That's one thing I learned when I went to the US. In the US, everybody have got their diction. In the UK, everybody with their different dictions. You go to the airport, different dictions, but it's different here. Most workplace you go, it's an Aussie accent that dominates. People are not encouraged to keep their diction here. You need to have the Aussie accent. People pretend like you don't understand what you're saying. It's a means of discrimination, to get you down, to put you in the corner. Then you're not important, And I believe that's one thing that motivates me to study a lot. So I have a lot of qualifications. So if you're looking at the diction doesn't work, the qualification will work. So you need to have something to supplement each other. It's a challenging situation, but gradually things are going on well, because you are in a war situation. So you do everything that you can to get out of there. Whether you're going to use boats, whether you're going to walk. So whatever means you can to get out of there, God gives you, that's one good thing about, God gives you some extra energy, that will really drive you. You don't know how you get there, How do I walk for 4 days, How do you do that, You don't know, but you've done it.
My childhood
Childhood was really, really bad. Also without parents, with my brother. And nobody was, people from the village that was looking after us, but nighttime in big house without parents, it's difficult to live, you know. But anyway, what we can do.
He said to us that you go for 1 week there, for 7 days, and then they'll give you chocolate, lollies, blah, 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 and you'll return back after 1 week. From 7 days, we've been there 8 years. The difficult part is that you don't have parents' homes. You're there alone with other kids. Well, you know, if I live with 300 kids together, we had everything, but just one thing that we're missing, the parents' love. We don't have parents' love, we don't have. Even I'm 70, I still can feel that in my heart, like a stone, something which holds me is, how to say?
Well, because it was that time from 1946 up to 1949, 50 was a civil war in Greece. Macedonian people was fighting with Greece about liberty, their own land, use the Macedonian language, but the opposition was thinking like that. They said now.
28,000 kids went there then, 28,000. And I feel sorry for them who didn't make, and I feel very, very sorry for the ones who didn't get back to their parents. They're still there, they married there, they have families, but I feel very sorry for them.
We're from Liberia, we're here, women and men, Liberia community. We have a meeting there every fortnight Sunday because we leave our people then behind suffering, the children and women. No good school, medicine, whatsoever. When we get lazy, we put it together. Before we ask here to say, oh, you have, we want to do something in school, in hospital, to be. Because in our culture, like how we can do it, we can go together.
So I thought at that time that this is a great idea for an episode. So I spoke about how Brazil came to the camp and provided some of them with resettlement. And Brazil is much poorer and more populated than Australia, and yet was able to extend the hand of help. I started another refugee project to try to provide legal and language support for the Palestinian Iraqi refugees who fled the war in Iraq. Death, property confiscation, rape, ID, killing, all sorts of atrocities against this very vulnerable community in Iraq. So they fled. That led to the foundation of a volunteer group called Aspire, which is an acronym for the Australian Society for the Palestinian Iraqi Refugees Emergency. And what I thought we can provide is basically making sure that their application ticks all the boxes. Well, the camp was not set up to basically permanently provide home for people. So before them there was no place. It was makeshift. It's nothing. I'm talking about when you go camping and you just take whatever equipment and stuff with you that can, be enough for the weekend, and then you end up staying there for 3 years. I'm talking about children who die because of scorpion attacks, because of snake attacks, because of dehydration, something that could have been easily avoided if you just have any basic care, medical care. Razan Muhammad was 10 months old. One of the photos that actually we all felt a little bit attached to because of her, of course, cute and just beautiful girl. Razan died of dehydration because they arrived the Hasaki hospital a bit late. And it was very hard for me to tell the other members that we lost Razan. And it was just heartbreaking that the longer we spend processing their application, the more likely that we are going to lose particularly vulnerable individuals of them, like infants or children. So I'm talking about things that we have actually witnessed. I'm also talking about the other Razan, same name, Razan. Razan was born in the camp. When we met this girl at the airport, we felt that we have saved a life. Of course, we've saved 68 lives, but particularly it personalized the whole project, and Razan became the representative of all 68. You open the files and you see photos of people, real people, not just names. I can freely tell you that there is no segment that I did not see, of gender or of age. Everybody was included, you just name it.
The group is very important for the lady. We can learning a lot of things, helping for the children, and we have the time and we can have time to talking together and learning together. Long time ago in Vietnam, they stand up and they fighting the China. That reason two lady. That reason strong lady. Yeah. Trưng Vương, that two sister and two sister. And they stand up when the China come to Vietnam to fighting in Vietnam, and her husband is part because the Chinese kill him, and the two sisters stand up to helping in Vietnam, fighting back in the China. That reason we take the name. Very strong lady. No, 1954, I from the North Vietnam come to the South Vietnam, and 1980 from Vietnam to from Saigon go to Indonesia. 1981 I come to Australia.
Ven bờ biển Trung Quốc, đi theo bờ biển Trung Quốc tới Hồng Kông.
She go with the small boat, go around from to North Vietnam to China. Because we escape, we escape from Vietnam, not easy to go, and that reason is very hard. We thinking when I left Vietnam, I thinking if I left Vietnam or lucky, if I dead on the sea, it's bad luck. We just thinking like that. We can't stay in Saigon. We don't feel scared about we dead on the sea. When we go the boat like this, the wave like this, it's higher, no food, no drink. Very dangerous. I still feel scared now.
Wow.
Being part of the community, the Congolese community and the broader community, it's what it is. So we have responsibility, we also have benefit of being part of it, and so it's two-way traffic. Wherever you are, whether in a shopping center, you can actually just smile at a person. You get out there, reach out, just think of helping one person, you'll make a big difference. We don't have any choice. It's either you go back to that, tough life, or you try and make the best you can here.
Why is it tough?
In Congo, it's tough because there is not many opportunities. So life can be so unfair sometimes. But what's so amazing is that the joy, the way they just carry that life, the way they go on, you're like, this is fantastic, and they're such happy people, and they like sharing, and that's how they survive. Neighbors are very, very important as a society that is rely on people. People are a very good asset in case of maybe you've got a problem, or you run out of salt, you run out of oil, you just go to your neighbor. Neighbor can pop in. If you're eating, they don't need to be invited. We just, okay, come on, join the table, and vice versa. So, yeah. And for People are working, women who are working, they'll just take a child and leave it to the neighbor, they're gone, and it's just, you know, a big support. When people leave, it's not like they choose, I'm leaving and I want to go to Australia or Canada or America or these good, beautiful countries. They just leave because it's like your house has got, you know, it's on fire. You just have to get out, maybe through the window or through the roof or wherever you can see an exit. You just, where I'm going, I don't know. As long as I'm out and I'll be safe where I'm going. That's what matters. You persevere and time pass by, and you know, eventually one door will be open. So that's what it is. But when you get here again, it's difficult. You know, you're a country where, you know, majority of people don't look like you. The language is different, the culture is different, so you're trying really to adjust, even to find a job. You don't know how it is to be in the interview. We don't have the eye contact. For us is if you're giving someone eye contact, especially if you're young and talking to an elder, eye contact, it's lack of respect. That's where I'm coming from. When looking somebody like that, it's like, that child, he or she has no respect, looking at me like I was his friend or her friend or same level. So you look down when they talk. So which is different here. You have to keep eye contact in the interview. So there's these things that you need to pick up as you go. You know, I just wish that employers look at the enthusiasm of someone want to learn and do the job. You know, most of the difficulty we encounter here is local experience. I just arrived, so if you don't give me an opportunity, how am I going to get that local experience? Because we look at where we're from, we're like, my God, there's no such opportunities here, so this here I can work and can get paid, I can plan my life. So, and then we all be part of the big Australian society. Just as hard as you think your life is, we're all struggling, you know. So if we can reach out and help the other person, and that's you know, that will be very good. Very good. We can't be progressing and leaving other people behind. So help them so that they can help themselves.
Or healthy society is not measured by the amount of, or the volume of money. It's measured by the safe and security of the weak, which is the children and the elderly. And a country full of hope is something that gives everyone energy to move. Millions of dollars without hope doesn't mean anything. But hope in us makes us move forward and makes us sort of wake and move and, you know, hug to each other and be a society of happiness.
Thank you.